Hey folks, Dan here. We are coming up to closing bell on Thursday, March 4th. I wanted to take a look at RKT AMC and NIO and SKT, which is new to me. So we'll see it for the first time together, and you'll see how I would kind of analyze it. But let's sort of start with a couple of things. I won't go to the tickers because I just did it in the last video, but up above I'm going to put two links that feel very timely with everything that went on in the market today. One is a link to a video that I put out last night about what we would be looking for in the case that the market, specifically the NASDAQ, leading the charge on a crash. There's some things, this is not to be like hyperbolic fear-mongering. It's just to say, here's price targets and zones that you could look for and see what the price does when it reaches them to inform you of whether or not there's more likely a chance that we're going to keep pushing down, or if there's more likely a chance that we're going to reverse this downtrend and get back to a bull run. So have a look at that if you are uncertain where the market is going and need some ideas. And then the other one is what to do when there is a lot of fear or panicking or selling off in the market, how you can enter trades that will still yield you profits on those days. So this is especially important if you're day or swing trading and your expectation is that you're collecting consistent profits off of your trades. There's tickers that go up when the market is going down, and so we talk through those in that video. So click that above if that would be helpful for you. Otherwise, if you enjoy any of these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. I've started to do live streaming during the day so you can see how to chart while the market is in play, since that's how everyone actually trades. And so you'll get those alerts if you subscribe. So please hit that, and let's get into it. So RKT, I still have my position in RKT. There was a lot of optimism this morning from my perspective when it came down and bounced off of this 2538 with this nice double bottom, shot up through this first area of resistance, but then got caught by this next area of resistance, sort of double or triple topped out here, and then tried to catch itself at the 2814 again and just couldn't. And so now it's sort of waffling in between these zones. Maybe it's developing some sort of like weird fascination with this 26 to 27 zone. But I don't see, like looking back through the chart, I don't see a lot of reason why it would get stuck like exactly here. To me, the much more compelling zone is here and here. So, it might just be a short sort of like stop on the consolidation train, and then it's going to push forward. I'm still bullish on RKT. I think we have opportunity to come back up, and it's maybe forming a little bit of a channel here, though I feel like my channels that have been drawing lately have been cursed because the channels then break, but they're always like optimistically drawn. So maybe there's something like this that can start to form, which would be nice because that would mean right now we're at sort of like the bottom of this channel, so we have like a lot of area to move up here. But this is on the 5-minute chart. We'll know if this held if tomorrow morning we open in the 30s. So if we open in the 30s tomorrow, then this channel held, and if not, then it broke. But we'll leave it there for now, just for fun to see if we're right or not. I don't know if you're nervous about RKT. Oh, what I had said before, which I think is still true, I'd be surprised if we got stuck underneath this $25 zone and couldn't reestablish it as support. So that's still my take on RKT. Let's go to AMC. So AMC, I am a broken record, but let me just repeat what I've been saying for those who need to hear it. These zones here right now, for any sort of like potential bullish scenario, don't matter. Like this 761, $8, $8.50, like these don't matter, to be honest. If it continues to push the price down, then that's, obviously it's sort of like just whimpering out. What actually matters here is whether or not AMC can get to 911 and establish it as support. If it can, then it has the opportunity to push toward 10. But every time it's tried to hold this 911, it really quickly drops below it. So it's having a really hard time maintaining that support for long enough to be able to push off of it. So it still needs that. So what I've been saying for the last several days, if it cannot do that, it's just going to lose steam and it's going to sort of like die with a whimper. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. And so that's the start of what we're seeing today, I think. Of course, there's chance for it to turn around. That could certainly happen. This isn't like in unrecoverable territory, in my opinion, but you've put yourself sort of in a corner here with AMC, as far as I can tell. And 911 is still the most important level of support for the bulls. NIO, I got stopped out of NIO today, and that's fine because, I mean, it's had this like tragic beatdown. I still think this stock is probably going to 2.5 to 3x, maybe even before the year is over. And so I'm going to look to get back in, but I need it to be showing me sort of like that it can sustain a bull run and can even sort of like have some stability, sort of like you saw in Palantir today, that held up pretty well when the market was crashing. Of course, it dropped as well, but it didn't have this like irrecoverable downfall. And NIO to me does not have the strength at the moment to say the same about. What I said this morning was this blue box, I called something like the blue box of hope or something like that. Whereas like this is a hopeful price zone that if NIO could get into this box and get itself over this box as support, as sort of this like support of the day, if you will, that it has the potential to recover. And as we saw, it tried, it hit our 41.39 zone and it got dropped down and it couldn't maintain itself in the box. It's been bouncing its head against it all afternoon. And so this, is still the case. To me, it's got to get into this box and sort of establish itself there and then use it as a springboard to push off to get back into the 40s. If not, my worry is that we get to this 38.23 zone and we fall below it, and where we fall into is this red box of sadness that could potentially get us all the way down into the 20s, which, I mean, if that happens and there's not like some like Nikola level of stock issue with NIO, like I would go hardcore taking positions on NIO in the 20s. I would feel very good about that. So I'm going to be keeping my eye out for that. For all of you that are in this play and are feeling the pain, I don't want it to drop that far. I don't want your accounts to suffer that, but we will see. But NIO has a lot of work to do to get back on track, to be honest. All right, SKT came up a few times in my feed today, so I wanted to take a look. I don't know anything about this stock at all, but we can sort of see what the chart looks like. So this should actually be a really, really strong level of support. I would be concerned if this were to fall below this line here. So we'll make that red because it has support all the way back here, and that's actually what kicked off the refusal of this candle to continue dipping. So there's like a mini downturn here, and it refused to fall below that level, and then it started this big push up. So I would be very, very careful if the stock price starts to fall below 1657 and starts bumping up against it like it's resistance. That's going to be trouble. In the bullish side of things, and actually let me tell you how this could play out and what could be happening here. It may be coming down to fill this gap a bit. There's a chance that you come down to something like here in order to fill this gap, which would put you below there. but at least we would then sort of like know what was happening and know why, and could make decisions there if it was tolerable for you to hold into that price zone, like down here into the low 16s. If we're going to make a bull move on this, I think you're going to hit some friction on the upper side here. And just remember that like the resistance turns to support once you establish your price action over it. So good strong resistance turns into good strong support. So all right, and then yeah, we're so here. All right, so you got some running room. Yeah, I mean, that'll be a pretty big percentage jump, so that could warrant like a new analysis at that point. But I think your sort of like price zones widen as you start to establish some momentum here. So getting yourself back up over 1770 gives you some running room to 1841. Get that as support. This is going to be a sticky zone, this 1840 to say $19. It's going to be a sticky zone for this one. But if it can just sort of like bounce around there for a little bit and then push off that 1888 level, pretty good run room to almost 20, and then get to 20, establish that as support, and you got room for 21. So there's your bullish case. Again, 1657, I would expect it to hold. If it doesn't, I would expect it to fall into this blue box and be filling that gap, and I would definitely expect it to bounce off of the bottom area of that blue box. If it falls through there, then you're in sort of like no man's land again, and it might be sort of like a tumble of death. I don't know. All right, so those are my thoughts on SKT. Yeah, so that'll do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want more frequent updates, you can follow my Twitter, which I'll put in the description. Yeah, hopefully you're able to like and subscribe and share these videos around if you find them helpful. And that's it. Put questions or comments below. That helps people a lot, I think. Also put any tickers that you'd like me to cover in the comments below. That helps me sort of figure out what's interesting to people, so I don't just cover the same things over and over and over again. It gets boring. All right, I'll see you all in the next one.